travel isn't just about destinations. It's about the people you meet, the cultures you immerse yourself in, the stories you carry home. I'm Relebogile Mabocha, and on my travel feature, I take you on a journey beyond the guidebook. Each week, I connect with fellow travelers, insiders, and storytellers to bring you the heart of every place. Whether it's a hidden gem right here in South Africa or a dream destination abroad. Join me as we travel through conversations, memories, and inspiration. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
You're with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Let's walk the talk. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7 and 106 FM.
8 minutes after 9 o'clock. Dumelang, happy Friday. Welcome to the show. I hope you're well this morning. I hope you've had a wonderful week. Thank you for being with us here on 702. Hello. If you are watching us on YouTube, 702 YouTube page. That's what you can Google and just watch and listen to the show at the same time. Every Friday, we do Gratitude Friday on the 702 open line. This is where you can call us and tell us what you are grateful for this week. What happened this week that you are grateful for? 011-883-0702 is the number you can dial. The WhatsApp line is 072-702-1702. Drop your comments there on the YouTube page as well. I will read them from there. Today, the woman who drove over a crowd of teenagers who were taking part in a coming-of-age traditional ceremony, killing 13-year-old Pretty Mahlangu and injuring others, is finally expected to appear in court. We have been on this story since early this week, and thank you for your calls and your outrage over what happened, because I believe that and the Sowetan also pushing the story and the pressure that the producers have been putting on the police has actually helped us. And that's why we were told yesterday of a new warrant of arrest that was issued for this woman. The family didn't even know about this. They found out from us. We spoke to the family yesterday to tell them what the police have told us, and they didn't even know. But they were happy to hear that the woman will be appearing in court today. So stay listening to 702 for the latest on that appearance, and we'll find out if the charges she faces now are of murder or still of culpable homicide. Because if you check the video that I reposted on Twitter yesterday, that act looks deliberate. The police, still, they're refusing to come and speak to us, only telling us that they can send us a voice note. So Mavela Masondo is the spokesperson of the police in this province. And since we've been asking for interviews on this, he's not come forth. He's only offered to send us voice notes. And I think that's weird. If you've taken a job as a communications officer and you're the spokesperson, that's not your job to be sending voice notes when you're being asked for interviews. There are instances where that's applicable, that's acceptable, but it's unacceptable that when there's information that the public seeks, you don't want to come and give them that information. You want to rather send a voice note. Then you shouldn't be in that job. You shouldn't. If you think you want to sit and send voice notes, then maybe that's a different job. But if you're a communications officer whose responsibility is to communicate to the public through the media, then you have to avail yourself. And sometimes you're not going to be available at the time we're requesting. Well, we always have other options. We could pre-record. We could do whatever. Anytime you're available for us, we can take that interview and pre-record it. And he hasn't made any effort except to just send us WhatsApp voice notes. So even when we asked him this morning to come on the show, he offers to send us this thing.
Police can confirm that a 68-year-old suspect handed herself over to the police this morning, and she will be appearing at Germiston Magistrates Court today, facing a charge of culpable homicide.
Yeah, so that's it. I guess that will do. It's really disappointing dealing with communications officers like this, and I have escalated this to the head of comms at national level because I'm trying to understand, is this what they expect of their communicators to do? Israel is apologizing again, this time for bombing the only Catholic church in Gaza. That bomb killed 3 people. The Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu's office, says, "Oh, we deeply regret this incident." I mean, this church was a shelter for Gaza's tiny Christian community during this war. And Netanyahu says now they're investigating the incident and they remain committed to protecting civilians and holy sites. That's what their statement said. Oh, please. The Israeli Defense Force says it hit this church mistakenly. Do you know how many deadly mistakes Israel has made? This is not the first time they apologize. And nothing is going to happen to them. Trump says he did call Netanyahu because he wasn't happy with this, but Netanyahu said, "Oh, it's a mistake. So what? Let's move on, everyone." They will announce an investigation like they did with previous mistakes and nothing will come of it. Or maybe they will surprise us this time. This is how Trump responded to this. This is his press secretary.
It was not a positive reaction. He called Prime Minister Netanyahu this morning to address the strikes on that church in Gaza. And I understand the Prime Minister agreed to put out a statement. It was a mistake by the Israelis to hit that Catholic church. That's what the Prime Minister relayed to the President. And you should look at the Prime Minister's statement that will be coming out.
So the Prime Minister did release a statement. Here's a report on Al Jazeera reading that statement from Benjamin Netanyahu's office.
Netanyahu's office releasing a statement that says, quote, "Israel deeply regrets that stray ammunition hit Gaza's Holy Family Church. Every innocent life lost is a tragedy. We share the grief of the families and the faithful. We are grateful to Pope Leo for his words of comfort. Israel is investigating the incident and remains committed to protecting civilians and holy sites." Now,
Yeah, I mean, how many times has Israel apologized? I've actually done a show, in fact, not a show, but on the open line where I played you several clips of the Israeli Defense Force apologizing for mistakes they've made that are deadly, in some instances where children were killed. I could go back and play you several of those clips, but this is not the first time that Israel apologizes for these deadly mistakes.
I want to be very clear. The strike was not carried out with the intention of harming WCK aid workers. It was a mistake that followed a misidentification at night during a war in a very complex conditions. It shouldn't have happened. The initial findings were just presented to me here in the Southern Command. I also visited the new Humanitarian Command Center that we established today to improve the way we coordinate aid distribution in Gaza. We will continue taking immediate actions to ensure that more is done to protect humanitarian aid workers. This incident was a grave mistake. Israel is at a war with Hamas, not with the people of Gaza. We are sorry for the unintentional harm to the members of WCK.
Unintentional harm. This is after 7 aid workers. These are people who are trying to respond to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. They are bombed. They are killed. I would understand, well, not even understand, but I would listen if this is just the first case and there's genuinely here a mistake. But if you've been bombing children in Gaza over the last, 2 years? And you want to come and say, "Oh, sorry, it was a mistake to hit the church that killed 3 people. Oops, sorry, that bomb, it was a mistake. 7 aid workers who had nothing to do with this war, they were killed. Oops, sorry, the children, the people who were trying to get food, who are hungry, were killed. It was a mistake." What's next? What's the next mistake that's going to be deadly for the people of Gaza?
Clement Manyathela, streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856
92.7
and 106 FM.
Clement Manyathela, good morning, sir. I'm speaking to Pomabala from Ekurhuleni. It's very sad of what is happening to this family because of the status of some people can get away with everything because of they've got money to hire big lawyers and all that stuff. But we hope that justice will take its course and the police are failing this family and are failing these kids who saw this traumatic thing happening in front of their eyes. I've watched the video. We're just hoping and praying that justice will take its course and this woman, she will get what she deserves. Killing a little child like that, an innocent one, and this capable homicide must be converted to murder, not culpable homicide. This was deliberate, racist act.
Yeah, we'll find out when she appears in court if the charge is still of culpable homicide or of murder. Yeah, the police clearly are not interested to account here because there are serious questions I have. I'm sure you yourself have too about how they handle this matter. Why has this woman never been arrested? Why did she present herself and then just release like that? And the family believes the matter was not put on a roll at some point. What happened? Did they treat this woman with kid gloves? Did they offer special treatment? And that's why they don't want to come on the show. That's why they just want to send us WhatsApp voice note because they don't want to account.
Good morning, Clement and the team. Happy Friday. I don't believe it was a mistake. Israel knows exactly what's going on. They know where the churches are, where the mosques are, and they are deliberately targeting them. I just feel like the world is just moving on and they don't care. So many people are dying in Gaza only because they are not white. Thank you very much. KB from the south of Joburg.
Good morning, Clement Manyathela and your 702 team. This is Elton Gordon in eThekwini, KZN. When I heard a clip on Pongani Bingwa's show, 702 Breakfast this morning, I said to myself, here we go again. Because as you're rightfully saying, it's not the first time Israel does this and apologizes. And to go and bomb the Catholic Church in Gaza, it's just despicable. And I think that the facts of the matter is that Israel continues to do this because they know that there are no consequences, which then raises a fundamental question, which I think you've touched on before, Mr. Manyathela. What is the duty of international organizations like the ICC and others? Because they are just toothless dogs, if I were to use that term. And it's so sad. And I keep saying to my Christian friends, because I'm Christian as well, there's no way that I'm going to defend Israel just because of biblical context, when it is clear that what they are doing is a crime against humanity. And that man by the name of Benjamin should be behind bars. Thank you for a great show, guys.
Good morning, Clement. Clement, I watched the video. If you look at the beginning of the video, you can see this lady's car. She's stopped. She thought she was thinking of going around and turning back, but something snapped in her and she decided to drive through the crowd because she was behind another car and she had stopped. But something changed and made her decide to go through them, and it's appalling, man. This lady must go to jail. It's really horrific, the thing that she did, and she cannot say that she felt threatened. She was far away from these people. She decided to drive there to where they were instead of going back and going around.
Morning, Clemens. I think what this incident in Germiston shows us clearly that we have not normalized and understood each other's cultures, that the tolerance level for other people is way too low. And this is a complete and absolute tragedy. But I think the way in which she rammed into those children, it does show intent. And it needs to be condemned because this is not normal for anywhere in the world. To harm someone who's just in the street, no.
Yeah, it's just so sad. I mean, the video, as you indicate, it demonstrates intent. In fact, the family was telling us, was it yesterday, that there were two other cars that came before she drove next to the kids, and then those cars were redirected. By the way, this family alerted the neighbors that we've got this cultural ceremony. And remember, there was even one of the neighbors who called on the show 2 days ago and said, I am one of the neighbors. I live in the area. I know that the family notified us of this cultural ceremony. And they also notified them about the alternative routes. So there are 2 cars that came and the family told them, hey, please use that route. Because the kids now were marching, so they were coming closer now to the home as part of the ceremony. But no, women didn't want to turn around, just ramped through the crowd. And context is important because what happened earlier before she did this, she was busy questioning why these women are bare-breasted. As part of the ceremony, these young girls who are virgins are supposed to be dressed up like this. So she already had issues with how these people are practicing their culture because clearly for her, that's public indecency. But to your point, we really are intolerant of each other. And that's a conversation we had 2 days ago when I asked you, how do you navigate practicing your culture, especially for people who live in the suburbs? Because in the villages, in the township, there's a level of camaraderie. Like you can even put a tent in the middle of the road as long as you alert your neighbors, because where we come from, we don't have big spaces. So sometimes your yard is not big enough, perhaps, especially people in the townships. So you end up putting a tent in the middle of the road, on the middle of the road, but you communicate that to your neighbors. In the suburbs, we don't even know each other. Like, do you know your neighbor? Do you know their name? We don't know each other in the suburbs. We're just on a group and then we just post whatever we want to post, but we really don't know each other. And we really don't understand each other. We don't understand each other's cultures, but we're also dealing with something here, a phenomena of entitlement, where there are certain people who feel entitled to certain areas, as if we still live in apartheid times, where they think you can't come here and want to live your life. This is how we've always been doing things here, so you can't come and want to practice something like that. It's crazy. It's absolutely, absolutely crazy. KG on the WhatsApp line says, hi, Clement. The accused lady in this Germiston incident should be charged for multiple charges of culpable homicide, multiple attempted murder charge, and last but not least, perjury and defeating the ends of justice for intentionally interfering with the administration of justice, including investigation, trials, and other legal proceedings. She's not aware that she's just called what she's just caused on herself. That's a message there from Simon.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
Well, Clement, it's only just a church. I mean, they've bombed universities before. They've bombed almost every hospital there is in Gaza. They've bombed refugee camps. They've bombed humanitarian outposts where they were serving food and relief. So what's just another church? What's just another church? Luvo from Melbourne.
Just a comment in terms of what's happening in Gaza. I would ask that we could please, before we mention what is going on there, if we can just start off the broadcast by saying, this is what happened to Israel, where we had 1,200 or 1,300, I'm not quite sure of the exact number, of innocent women, innocent children, grannies, men, women, that were brutally murdered, raped, and killed for no apparent reason, unprovoked, by Hamas. And maybe we need to just keep that foremost in our minds, just to give us a little bit of context as to what's going on in Gaza. So that's just a comment, and I would love to hear your response to that.
Well, my response is, one, I think you're welcome to call us and tell us what your opinion is. In this case, if you want to talk about what Hamas did on October 7, you can do so, right? If you've been listening to this show, you will know of the context that's been given around what happened on that day. So I'm not going to start every conversation. So every time Israel does its despicable acts in Gaza, now I'm going to go, before I even tell you what they did to these poor children who are not part of the war, here's a reminder of what happened on October 7. After what happened on October 7, I came on this show and I spoke about it extensively, and I've spoken about it months and months to come after it happened. So if you think I'm going to start describing and explaining what Israel has done in Gaza by talking about what's happened on October 7, that's not going to happen. Equally so, should Hamas do anything despicable to Israel, I'm going to tell you about that devastation in Israel. I'm not going to go back to, let me tell you what has happened before, also 2 years ago. I'll tell you about how devastated Israelis are based on the actions of Hamas. So, if you want to weigh in on that, you're welcome to give us a call on this show and say, hey, Clem, but remember what happened on October 7. And I'll tell you that the incident that happened to this church, how do you link it back to that? How do you link it back to that? So when children are being murdered in Gaza, and then you come back, apologize, aid workers, and guys, aid workers are wearing literally aid apparels. Go and check out the videos. The aid workers sometimes identify themselves and say, please, don't shoot, don't bomb us. We're aid workers. And they are clearly identified, and they are still getting bombed and killed. And you want us to go back and say, before we tell you about this devastation, here's something that happened 2 years ago. Because you think we minimize that. That's not how we operate. I've never minimized what's happened on October 7. I think it's a despicable act. It's terrible. And Hamas must be held accountable for that. I've never supported that action, and I will never. But equally so, I'm never going to support actions of a government that's obliterating an entire enclave. People who have nothing to do with this war are getting killed in Gaza. And every time we raise that devastation, you want to go back and tell us about something else that's happened. That says a lot about what you think of the people that are being killed. And I'm never going to stop talking about that. It's 9:30.
Travel isn't just about destinations. It's about the people you meet, the cultures you immerse yourself in, the stories you carry home. I'm Relebogile Mabotja, and on my travel feature, I take you on a journey beyond the guidebook. Each week, I connect with fellow travelers, insiders, and storytellers to bring you the heart of every place. Whether it's a hidden gem right here in South Africa or a dream destination abroad. Join me as we travel through conversations, memories, and inspiration. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
24 minutes before 10 o'clock. Let's go back to your calls on 011-883-0702. Every Friday, we also do Gratitude Friday. So if there's something you're grateful for that you want to share with us, please feel free to call us or send us a WhatsApp voice note on 072-702-1702. Dr. Thabo Mnisi, you're calling from Pretoria. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Clement. Thank you very much. Yeah, I wanted to speak on this thing, on the moral standards of the world we live in today. Today, we have constitutional democracy, and there's a rule of law, United Nations, and the law of armed conflict. The law of armed conflict doesn't allow any government to attack non-military targets and installations, as well as humanitarian. Now, we can look at that and people can say, somebody did this wrong thing many years ago. But how far back do we go? Do we go as far back as the recent August? And other people will say, we can go as far back as 1917. By the way, Hamas was formed in 1987. From 1917, when Atta Balfour started the state of Israel, there was Zionism. The people of Palestine were displaced. In 1948, when the State of Israel was formed, Russia did argue with the United Nations and say, why can't you have a state for the Palestinians as well? And that was denied. And then they were treated the way they were treated. History speaks for itself, how they were treated. And only in the 1950s was a moderate PLO formed. And later in 1987, the radical Hamas was formed. Now you can look at 60 years of the Palestinians displaced from their house, And only in 1987 they respond with Hamas.
Yeah.
Now I am saying there must be a difference between a legitimate government, like the government of Israel, and a formation like Hamas. Hamas did win elections, I think 2011, and that was not recognized. For it to be modernized into a government that will be engaging Israel on an equal footing. So there is an unequal treatment. But that said, where we are today, we should say the laws, what are they saying? And who is breaking the law on either side?
But that's clear, Dr.
Don't make a right.
Yeah, let's be clear though. I mean, let's not even ask that question because it's answered. Who is breaking the laws? Who has been violating? And as you say, let's differentiate between a government that's a signatory of the United Nations and let's differentiate between a formation like a Hamas. There are more responsibility that you place on a government. So to be clear, how many resolutions of the United Nations has Israel violated? How many times has even Trump himself been frustrated by Israel? How many times has Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, how many times have been frustrated by Israel? And yet Benjamin Netanyahu continues to do as he pleases, continues to kill people. Nothing is ever going to happen to him because over the years, even when the expansion in the West Bank has continued, Israel, United Nations sends out a statement, and then what happened? Nothing happens.
No. You're correct. That is why even when Yitzhak Rabin and Yasser Arafat tried to get Camp David to reach a peace agreement, they had to kill their own prime minister because he was compromising and trying to make peace. So it's about whether people want peace there in that region or they don't want it. But you are correct. There must be consequences to governments that violate the laws to which they are signatories.
Yeah, Dr. Thabo Mnisi, thank you so much. We've had a chat before on the show about just the United Nations because I really think it's becoming useless now as a multilateral organization. And I say that with a sad heart because when you look at the reasons why a multilateral organization like the United Nations was formed, that's to protect the weakest in the world. That's to protect human rights. What does the United Nations say to the hundreds of kills of kids, children, who had nothing to do with this war, who have died in Gaza? What does it say? Because all it's done is, we condemn. What else? Constantly condemning. So what's the point of this institution if it can never take resolutions that countries respect? What's the point of this multilateral organization if when they condemn certain countries, their biggest allies, other countries who are allies of the country that's perpetrating violence, they can protect them in the United Nations Security Council? That's the world we're living in. Animal farm. Komas, you're in Johannesburg. What are your thoughts? Hi.
Hi, Clement. Destroying a church forms part of a pattern, as one of your previous callers said, of destroying hospitals and schools and starving a population over a period of months and then firing upon those persons who go to food distribution points, which Israel and America have started. The Palestinian population in Gaza is being subjected to a situation in which its civilian infrastructure is being destroyed and, as I said, in which people are being starved and subjected to bombing, in which hundreds of thousands, at least tens of thousands of civilians have been killed, hundreds of thousands, the entire population is being starved. This is genocide. The destruction of the church, whether a mistake or not, falls into this more general pattern. Apologies are empty, as you said. Condemnation is empty, and the UN has rendered toothless by the US's veto on the Security Council. What is happening is there is a genocide is being broadcast. South Africa has rightly raised the issue at the International Court of Justice, but what is happening is we are watching again as a genocide happens. We have lost the entitlement as a world to say never again about the Holocaust.
Yeah. And the the United Nations is watching and just condemning and condemning and condemning. But then again, we need to have conversation about the structure even of that United Nations, because that's got to be dismantled if we really want that level of equality and genuine interest and accountability on those that are violating the rules of war, those also that are just violating the resolutions of the United Nations. And let's not forget here, some of these things Israel apologizes for. Remember with the aid workers, there was a time when you should check out the videos of the aid workers secretly being buried with their vehicles. That's what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with soldiers that are doing as they please because they know their government is going to protect them. Like, how do you murder people and then bury them with their vehicles? My goodness. That's what we're dealing with here. And there are other people out there who watch what's going on. They still want to somehow justify it. Hi.
Morning, Clement. What all these pro-Israeli people forget, like the voice note that was sent, what all of them forget is Hamas, Palestine, Israel didn't start October the 7th. For 75 years, the Palestinians have been oppressed and been murdered and by the Israelis for 75 years. October 7th was a result of the 75 years of oppression. And these pro-Israelis tend to forget. And what they don't like to talk about. They always know about October the 7th, October the 7th. What about before October the 7th? What happened then?
Yeah, that's it. I've tried to do several shows, in fact, over the last 5 years, before this, because also you can't say the war started now. And I remember even when October 7 happened and Israel retaliated, that's not where the war begins. This conflict has been going on for years, and historically, go and check what happened when the establishment of Israel was taking place. What happened? Who was there? And what happened to those people who were there? Why is there a continuation of expansion into the West Bank? Go check how are the Palestinians in the West Bank being treated. If you understand our history of apartheid in this country, just reference it with how Palestinians are being treated there in the West Bank. So there's a history here that's important. I've done 2, if not 3, 4 shows where I've brought in historians who came and explained to us what happened many decades ago, before these new waves of war are coming up. It's 14 before 10.
Over the years, you've heard me ask wealth manager Warren Ingram the big questions. How do we invest wisely? How do we protect our family's future? All those conversations, that entire library of financial expertise is now available as a podcast. Straightforward advice to help you build your wealth on demand. Just search for Warren Ingram's Personal Finance wherever you get your podcasts.
Your voice.
Your station.
Your open line.
Walk the talk with Clement Manyathela
on 702.
8 minutes before 10.
Hi, Clement. I hate the camera when it points you at chat and we are busy chewing a gum. And I don't understand, guys, the people, they will just take your pictures, take your videos. I wish there was no cameras at church.
10 minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah, sometimes at church, guys, I mean, whenever I'm busy speaking in tongues there, having an intimate moment, with the Holy Spirit, and the camera is on me. Did I sign a release form for that? Sometimes it's just so hectic. I particularly, there was a time when I was young, when I used to go to like lots of gospel concerts, and I know I'm on Judith Sipuma's one of her music videos when she was performing live somewhere in Sandton many years ago. I was there sitting in the front and the camera was on me, and to this day, I regret sitting in the front. But yeah, I don't like cameras like that, because sometimes when you're at concert, you just want to have fun. You're at church, you're just trying to have an intimate moment with your God. But now you have one eye open, one eye closed because you want to make sure the camera is not on you at some point.
No, Clement, talking about camera being on your face, I remember I was at this other place and this person took pictures of us as a group. And I'm like, dude, please delete that picture and retake it without me being present. Because I don't want to be seen on social media at a certain club, what, all those kind of things. I do not want that. So, no, Clement, I don't like being in public. I don't want to be in public too much, especially with pictures. These things tend to come back and bite you, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes I'm there with somebody that I don't want you to know I'm there with. Or sometimes I'm there with my person and maybe you don't want that relationship to be public. Or maybe you are there with someone's person. Like the CEO. You are somebody's person yourself and you're here with someone and someone is busy penning the video. Oh, I know that at church. So sometimes, because, sometimes I know when I visit, particularly if I go to the Bryanston Methodist Church, for instance, I know sometimes they warn the congregants. Because sometimes when there's singing that takes place, some people get excited and they take out their videos. So I know I've had the pastors or the church leaders remind congregants that please be mindful of other people around you that may not want a video of them taken. Because sometimes people get too excited and they just pen videos around and you're like, my guy, like I probably told my boss that I am away in the villages and here you are penning a video towards me that you're going to put out on social media. So yeah, we must just be more mindful, and that's not to say we must not have fun, and just be a little bit mindful that there are other people around you that may not want you taking videos of them.
Morning, Clem. I don't take pictures. I don't take videos. Even at Groove, I don't like those pictures that they take pictures, then you find them on their Facebook page or something. Even at the salon, I don't take pictures after they cutting my hair or something. I don't take anything because
yeah, hey, I was once allowed. So I've been dyeing my beards every single year in December time. So like 2 years ago, I dyed my beard red. And then last year I dyed it gray. So sometimes when I'm done doing that, like the salon where I do it, want to take a picture of me. And there was one time when I thought, they're just taking a picture because this chap probably wants to show his manager that, oh, look at how it came out. So I was like, okay, cool, I obliged. Only for somebody to send me a picture of myself on the website. And I was like, I didn't sign up for that. So now I'm very cautious. I'm very, very extra cautious. Like, I don't want to be taking pictures at the salon because I don't know what you're going to do with it. Because I'm thinking you're taking it because you want to show your boss, or next thing it's on the website? Nah, that's suspicious.
Good day, Clement. I just want to say on this Friday, I am very grateful to have received word that I have succeeded in my studies and I will be graduating soon. So, yeah, I'm a very happy young lady this morning. Thank you.
Oh, that's amazing.
Travel isn't just about destinations. It's about the people you meet, the cultures you immerse yourself in, the stories you carry home. I'm Relebogile Mabotja, and on my travel feature, I take you on a journey beyond the guidebook. Each week, I connect with fellow travelers, insiders, and storytellers to bring you the heart of every place. Whether it's a hidden gem right here in South Africa or a dream destination abroad. Join me as we travel through conversations, memories, and inspiration. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.